Hi everyone, it's tea time. Wait a minute, where are my cookies? I've got 2 ginger snaps today to go with my tea. So yummy, so snappy. So I decided to sneak upstairs and hide in my room for a little while and have tea with you. I recently switched bedrooms and I did film a little bit when I was redoing this room. If you want to see that, let me know. I'll put it up because this room used to be a closet. It was a bedroom. We made it a closet. Now it's back to being a bedroom. No, these are not homemade ginger snaps. I bought them at Trader Joe's. So let's get down to some money chit chat after I ate my cookies. It's been about 5 months now since I quit my job. And I've been wanting to do kind of a budget update video. But a lot of the numbers haven't really changed since my last budgeting video, except my income. The bills have pretty much stayed the same. My income that's kind of gone away. I'm just going to put my tea on the windowsill for a moment and take up my crocheting for my amazing new scarf making business. I think this is the 4th one that's been ordered that I'm making. So at the end, I'll show you some of the other yarns I have available right now. This is a lovely blue chenille. I would not recommend washing chenille in your washing machine. I, at one point, had this fabulous black chenille sweater. I loved it. I wore it all the time. And then I made the mistake of putting it in the wash. I don't know if it was the wash that was the mistake or the dryer was the mistake. But chenille does not like the machines because, you know, it's fuzzy. And all the fuzz came off. And it went on everything else. Maybe hand washing and laying flat to dry. I do throw my wool sweaters in the wash, but not in the dryer. Though, I will tell you, my little daughter Autumn has this really nice black cashmere Talbot's turtleneck sweater that was mine, but got thrown in the dryer by mistake, and it fits her fabulously now. So anyway, back to money. Oh yes, I'm making so much money from knitting scarves. Where were we? Back to budgeting. So it's absolutely imperative to have a budget. You've got to know, obviously, how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. And you want the money coming in to be more than the money going out, so that you have money left over to save. It's pretty basic. Everybody needs to live below their means, but it's not always easy, is it? Because sometimes there just isn't enough money to pay all the bills. And I know making a budget can be really scary. It scares me a little bit right now too, because my income has changed so drastically since I left my job. And if I really looked at the numbers, I would probably say to myself, well, it doesn't add up. It's not possible. It's not possible. This is not sustainable. That's, I think, what, I know I'm looking out the window like, should I just jump? I'm clever with the numbers. Somehow we make it work out. Of course, our food budget's nigh on zero. So the bills are staying pretty much the same, and I would really like to cut our electric bill down. And I have lights on right now because I kind of have to when we're filming, but I do a lot in semi-darkness. And I gotta tell you, Frugal Daddy is like, I'm having a lot of trouble with him right now in terms of electric lights. He just will have lights on all over the house. And in our dining room, we have a chandelier with 9 light bulbs. You can't just leave that on and walk away. You can't do that. That drives me insane. I would love to cut our electric bill in half. Do you all have your tea, coffee, cocoa, glass of wine, shot of tequila? Everybody set, ready to go? Okay. All right, so income-wise. So now I'm going to say that the largest portion of my income now comes from doing YouTube. And it is certainly not what I was earning before at my regular job. Some expenses have dropped a lot since not being at my other job. For example, gas. That's probably the only expense that has dropped is gas, because I just don't have to drive as much now. Health insurance is still an issue, and my health insurance certainly wasn't free when I was working for the state. It was when I started 18 years ago, but years ago they made us actually start to pay for our health insurance. And we'd signed up for health insurance. We were paying out of pocket for a few months. And then we realized that what we were paying for was not health insurance at all. Now, keep in mind, the guy we spoke to on the phone said, yes, this is health insurance. Yes, your copay will be $20. I forget, I think it was $20. And we pay for doctor's visits and for specialists and for hospital stays. I think it was, I don't know, I don't even remember. But the long and the short of it is, it wasn't health insurance. I mean, he flat out lied. He told us it was health insurance. Really, what it turned out we were paying for was some kind of discount program. It was a great big sack of shit, really. I had always taken care of all that side of everything, bills and everything, before when I was working. So with me being out of work and us needing health insurance, I let Frugal Daddy take the lead on getting us health insurance. And I don't blame him for getting scammed, because the guy did completely lie to us. But it is a cautionary tale to one and all. I mean, if you're not employed and getting your insurance through your employer, and you're just out there on the market looking for health insurance, you know, you're relatively screwed. We are trying to sign up for Obamacare, but the open enrollment period isn't until this coming November, because some people in power don't really want people to have Obamacare, I'm just saying, and they've made it very difficult. So we were paying out of pocket, thinking we had health insurance, and it really was not health insurance. And Frugal Daddy had signed us up for this. And we were trying to figure out how to get reimbursed for doctor's visits that we paid for out of pocket. So various people on the phone said, oh, you send the forms here, oh, you send the bill here, this, that, and the other. And they assured us, oh, yeah, of course you're going to get reimbursed. This is health insurance. We finally got someone on the phone who said, you know, this isn't health insurance. You don't have health insurance. And they looked it all up. And of course, they never sent us anything in the mail. We requested specifically, I mean, we got these weird little fakey cards that were supposed to be health insurance cards in the mail. But we had specifically asked, we want this whole policy. We want the whole thing. We want to know what we're paying for and what's getting covered. We want all this in writing. That never came. And so finally got someone on the phone who looked it up, and he said, you don't have health insurance. The company that sold you this isn't even allowed to sell health insurance in New Jersey. You've gotten a big old package of discounts. Like, what? So after they finally admitted that to Frugal Daddy, I went freaking ballistic, and I got on the phone, and I was pretty enraged. And you know, the thing is, I don't like confrontation. And I can deal with this kind of thing in a professional social work capacity when I'm advocating for somebody else, but it's very hard for me to do it for myself for some reason. But I went into social worker mode. Yeah, I went off. I just went absolutely off. And they're like, sorry, what can we do? And I said, well, since you lied to us, and in fact this wasn't health insurance, you will be refunding everything we paid. And I will be reporting this in writing to the New Jersey Department of Banking and Insurance, you know, which is a real thing. And it's a good thing to know in your state what the agency is that monitors this stuff, because when you threaten to report them, they don't like that, because that's like the real shit's coming down from above. So I was on the phone with somebody who was saying, well, you know, I'm not allowed to refund the money. I mean, I'm just like the person who talks on the phone and, you know, like lies to people. So I said, I would like to speak with your supervisor. And she's like, well, I don't know if there's a supervisor available. And I said, I will hold. I'll stay on the phone all day and all night. I will never, ever hang up. I will continue to call back. Everybody has a supervisor. I highly doubt you, the person who answered this phone, is the head of this little scammy company, so somebody will be getting on the phone. So I was on hold for a very long time. And then finally someone got on the phone and didn't even ask me what the deal was. Like, she knew the deal. And first thing she said was, we will be refunding all your money to the bank account from which we were taking it. And I said, okay, that's good, and got her name. And that's another thing. Every time we called these people, because we called a lot. We had a lot of questions and a lot of issues, trying to get reimbursement, trying to get medications, and nobody would give us their last name. I thought that was very weird. Having been a state employee, if someone asks your name, you give your name. If they ask for your supervisor, you give your supervisor's name and their phone number. There's no hiding. You are 100% accountable for everything you do. For someone in the private sector on the phone to be saying, oh, we don't give our last names because we have to protect ourselves. And I was like, oh, yeah, like I'm going to hunt you down and stalk you. I've got time for that. That was very weird to me. Anyway, she gave me this confirmation number, and I thought, oh, absolutely, I will be following up and calling back because I really didn't expect the money to get refunded. And I thought, oh, here's another thing I'm going to have to fight for. But within a couple of days, it was all refunded. So basically, no, we haven't had any health insurance since I left my job because we thought we did, but we didn't. And you know, the doctor's appointments we had that we paid out of pocket for actually cost a lot less than this fake insurance that we paid for. So, you know, that was good. But obviously, if a major medical issue comes up, you know, paying out of pocket is not going to be the optimal thing. You want to see something cute? I know you do. Little baby pumpkin kitten in my lap. I bring the kittens up on the bed with me all the time. Oh, that's what I was talking about with the TV. Oh, look at that, look at that. Never show your tricep wings. Okay, I didn't just lose my train of thought. I was interrupted by one of my kids. So anyway, TV on the wall. Very high tech for me. So anyway, I love just coming up here now. And the kids come up with me, of course. And we just lay on the bed and watch TV. And we have the kittens up on the bed. And the kittens will play around. And we're always like, yeah, don't go near the edge, don't go near the edge. Protect the kitten. And pretty quickly they'll settle down and they'll come right over to me and they'll snuggle up. I didn't put him in my lap. He did that himself. And they'll just fall asleep. And I love to think, oh my God, they love me. But I know it's that they're actually attracted to my great globulous warmth and they're just, you know, like sucking up to, I think they think I'm their grandma. Big old grandma kitten. So, as I was saying, so the majority of my income now is coming from YouTube. And it is basically enough with my husband's income being retired and all. We are pretty much able to meet our monthly expenses, except we don't have health insurance, which is worrisome for sure. And it makes me really wonder. You know, my father was a doctor and he always said the reason to be employed is to have health insurance. And I always thought that, and that's what kept me in my job for so long. And then one day I just, you know, I'm quitting. And is it really enough reason to keep showing up at a job? I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it is in this day and age, because one serious illness or an accident can absolutely wipe you out. So yeah, it probably is worth staying in a job just for the health insurance. But then you think, is that what my life is all about? I'm going to just to have health insurance? I have to. It's a conundrum. It's a thing too. That's the thing. If you're looking at having a YouTube channel as your income, you know, there are a lot of pros and cons to it. I mean, I love not having to go to my old job. Love it. And it wasn't like I didn't like my job. I mean, I was actually at a point in my job, I had settled into a position that I was actually enjoying and I felt good at. But it's still just such a relief every night when I go to bed to think, I don't have to get up and go to that job tomorrow. But with that job, I had lots of security and, of course, the health insurance and a nice, steady income. Now, of course, there are big YouTubers. We've all seen people with, I don't even know, how do a couple of kids, children, I mean, under 10-year-old children have 7 million subscribers. Are there even 7 million people on the planet? Are there? I don't know. That doesn't seem possible. Clearly, we're not on that level. So, I mean, their incomes, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what, $30,000, $40,000 a month? I don't know. So, obviously, I am not making money like that. And that's the thing, as a smaller YouTuber looking at this as an income source, it's not very reliable. You never know. You never know from one month to the next. You know, it's not consistent. That can be a little worrisome because you know what? The bank consistently wants money from us to pay the mortgage. Consistently. And that's one thing. I know people who have skipped mortgage payments. People who were in the same line of work as I was, so I kind of know what their income was because as public employees, I mean, there's no secret to what we were earning. And I was like, but you earn more than I do, and why aren't you paying your mortgage? Like, I don't know. To me, I don't know, call me crazy, but to me, that's the first thing to pay because I like living in a house, just not out in the wind and rain and snow. I wonder too, even with the really huge successful YouTubers, how long is it going to go on? Like, is it really going to last forever? I don't know. The idea is to create this passive income stream, that keeps going into the future. So the basics are met. We're able to pay our mortgage. My gas and electric bill every month is around $200. I would love it to be less. And this is the time of year to make it less, when we're in that kind of like we don't need heat anymore, but we don't need air conditioning yet kind of time. Time to save a little bit. My tax refund should cover my kids' tuition for next year. Now, the thing there also is, we also have the issue of, since I don't have the old job, this is the last big tax refund I'm ever going to get. I always had my old job withhold a lot more than needed to be withheld. So I always got this big tax refund, and that would cover my kids' private school tuition and generally summer camp. And I'm not going to have that anymore. I'm not going to have that anymore. So when the girls are entering 3rd grade in another year, because it's 2nd grade this coming fall, am I going to have the money for tuition? I cannot see how I possibly would. So we have to keep all our fingers and toes crossed for some kind of miraculous financial aid situation, or I'm gonna have to pull them out of the school and then homeschool them myself, which I kind of feel like that could be fun. That could be an adventure. I've never done that before. And I think I could homeschool for a little while, maybe up to 6th grade, maybe. Up to geometry, probably. Frugal Daddy would have to take care of the sciences. Keep drinking the tea. Have we thought of downsizing, you're wondering, and selling this house? Because this is a pretty expensive house for us to be paying for. When we moved in here and we were both employed and we didn't have the twins yet, we had way more money than we needed to cover the mortgage and everything else and save a ton. But circumstances changed dramatically pretty quickly. After we bought the house, they reassessed for property taxes. They went way up. Then my husband had to retire due to some medical issues. Then we had the twins and, things changed. Life is full of surprises just when you think it's not. But it is. Not many 47-year-olds get surprised with twins, but it can happen. Sometimes I think I really want to stay in this house. We have put so much work into this house and into the yard. And I feel like it's our little kingdom. It's our little Frugalandia. But then I think it's crazy to stay in New Jersey. This is an extremely expensive state. We have very high property taxes and really high car insurance rates. So yeah, long term, I don't know that we can manage to stay in New Jersey, but I don't feel like I can pick up and move now while my mother is still alive, because she's in New Jersey in the home I grew up in, and she just turned, what year is this? Dear old Cracker just turned 91. For a long time, I really thought we want to move to Maine. And by we, I mean me, so we're all going to move to Maine. And then I really started thinking Canada. I'm very concerned about the melting of the polar ice caps and the rise of the sea level. I really am. And climate change and global warming. So I think, well, if things are getting warmer, we got to go north. Canada, we got to seek higher ground, so Canadian Rockies, that's what we need to do. That's what I'm thinking right now. So Canadians, tell me, is it great up there? And the other day, I know we couldn't afford a place like Toronto, which I know is a really cool city, but we couldn't afford that. I'm thinking Calgary. I don't know anything about Calgary. What's Calgary like? To me, my understanding of Calgary is like kind of like our Wild West. But Canadian cowboys in Wild West. I like cowboy boots. I like country music. I think I could get into that. I did have another thought that kind of came with the homeschooling. We'll sell the house And we'll get an RV. Like a tricked out country western superstar tour bus. Like, are the Judds still together? Are they, I mean, they're together because it's mother and daughter, but are they touring? I mean, could we get their old bus at a bargain? At a fraction of the original cost? And then we would hit the road and we would just travel. We would just drive all over the United States and Canada and see everything and learn about things and have adventures and experience life and homeschool on the way. So, you want to see some of the yarns I have available for future scarves? Because I know you're all thinking, yes, I want a scarf now too. I have this wool. This is very thick, warm wool in a variegated gray kind of situation. Light gray to dark gray to blackish gray. I have this bluish tealish color, which is a lighter weight wool yarn. I think that's quite pretty, actually. And I have this chenille yarn in beige. Those are some of the yarns I have available right now. If anybody wants a scarf made of one of those, email me. I do have a pretty wide array of colors in a lighter weight yarn, which might be good for people who don't live in the absolute coldest climates, you know, somewhere maybe farther south where, yes, it gets chilly in the winter and you want a scarf, but you don't need, you know, the wooliest, thickest scarf ever. Maybe I'll do a giveaway at 30,000 subscribers and give away a scarf. Oh yeah. So I better wrap this up because we're off to the Tractor Supply store to investigate alternatives to your traditional cat litter. So thanks for watching, everybody. Until we have tea again. See you next time. Bye, 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 bye.